Hi, Jimmy. I want to start today's video with a metric that I read in JLL's 2025 North America Data Center Report. It said that more than 35 gigawatts of data center capacity are currently under construction, which is roughly equivalent to the annual electricity consumption of the UK or Italy. For those watching, we'll have that report linked in the description below. With demand at that scale, I understand that speed to market has never been more important. So today, we're talking about what owners need to be especially thoughtful about as they accelerate their design timelines. One area where we often see teams make risky trade-offs in the name of speed is commissioning. So let's start there. What's the biggest issue you're seeing on projects right now related to commissioning?
The biggest problem I've seen is people doing incomplete commissioning. Nobody walks away from commissioning completely, but a lot of people will do commissioning up through testing the equipment on an individual basis to make sure it works, but they will sometimes, because of schedule or cost, they'll decide to start loading the data center up with tenants before they complete their integrated commissioning, which we think is a really bad idea.
Why is that a bad idea?
Because as soon as you do that, then just like Murphy's Law, things that can go wrong will go wrong. So that's why that commissioning is vital. And then at the end of the process, making sure that the commissioning plan and all of our as-built and everything is very well coordinated and turned over to the owner, because problems will still arise, but having gone through commissioning and having all the proper documentation makes it much easier to deal with anything operationally that comes up after this process. Whereas if we didn't do commissioning in the beginning, they maybe have thousands of problems versus one or two problems.
Now that we've covered commissioning, what else helps to ensure a data center project runs smoothly under these accelerated timelines?
Really, it is having all the stakeholders at the table. It's not just the owners or the guys that are paying for it. It's having the people that operate it on a day-to-day basis being there. So I think just having those operators at the table early, and then they can also review not only the maintainability, but of all our control sequences. How is this building going to operate? When they come into the facility and see it for the first time, they're not going to be blindsided by what we've designed. They've been in the process all along.
What can occur if those early conversations don't happen?
If you don't have these early conversations, if we turn it over at the end, now you're going to have all kinds of issues where the operators aren't sure what's happening. There's a big learning curve, so the owner has to deal with that. It can be an issue and the design may work and it may be perfectly fine, but the operators not having been involved in the beginning, they've just got a lot of education and uptake to do. Whereas if you just invest in that, which costs the owner money, but if you invest in having your team up front to review the design, it's just going to save you a lot of headaches on the back end.
And how do you think that all of this ultimately ties back to an owner's broader business goals?
I mean, your business goals is having an operational data center, right? I mean, that's what this is all about, is to meet the end goal of everything works smoothly so you attract business. I mean, if you're having struggles right out of the gate, you've got a tenant, you come in and you didn't do this upfront work, suddenly things aren't working right. Are you going to get that tenant again? Probably not.
And my last question for you, if an owner remembers just one thing as they're accelerating a project, what do you think it should be?
The number one thing I would say that I would want people to walk away from this video is to understand that commissioning is important, following through your commissioning process as a whole, which helps mitigate your risk, and that we also are giving you the product that you are looking for, and that the owners are getting something that they can actually use and operate without it being a headache to their whole team.
And that's a wrap. Thanks so much, Jimmy.